In this video, I'm going to show you how you can manually edit a brain extraction that didn't go quite as planned. So this is assuming that you have tried all the different FSL BET options and you are still unable to get a good brain extraction from your structural data. So one way that you can check to see how good or bad your brain extraction was would be to open it in Mango. So we're just going to navigate to our structural image. And then I'm just going to alter the intensity values here so that it's a little easier to see, a little brighter. And then I'm going to maximize the window so that you can see it a little bit better as well. Now from here you'll want to overlay the brain extraction image, and to do that on a Mac you can just click on Option and O and that'll bring up a shortcut, or you can go to File and then Add Overlay and that will bring you to a screen and you can just navigate to your brain extracted image. So I'm going to go ahead and load that, and then I'm going to set the low portion of the overlay bar here to 0 so that you can actually see all the different where exactly your brain extraction image is. So here you can see that we have quite a significant piece of skull at the top of the brain that we don't want to be included because it's very clearly non-brain material. So how do we get rid of this? What we can do is I'm going to go ahead and close this window. This was just to demonstrate how you can check whether your brain extraction was pretty decent or not. And in this case, it's not super great. So I'm going to just go ahead and close these windows. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open my brain extracted image. So instead of opening the structural image, I'm now going to open just the brain extraction as our main image here. So I'm going to go ahead and just set the intensities a little bit lower so that I can get it to be a bit brighter. And so here is our brain extracted image, and you can see again that piece of skull that we don't want in our structural image. So to edit this, what you're going to do is you are going to go to ROI, threshold to ROI, then you're going to do shrink wrap, and you're going to click on exclude 0. These are very important because shrink wrap is going to make it so that the ROI that we generate is going to kind of go right onto the brain. And then excluding 0 will make sure that we're not including any of the black portions of our window here. So when we do that, you'll see a red outline appears around the brain. Now in Mango, you can go to the main window, and instead of this little crosshair, you can change it to the edit mode, which is sort of the half moon looking item. And that will change your cursor into a circle. Now, if you press your plus and minus keys, you can make that circle bigger or smaller with the minus key. And so that allows you to sort of go through and kind of set your edit tool to a size that you're comfortable with. From here, you're just going to edit manually with your mouse the parts that you no longer want to be a part of the brain. So here we're just going to go and take off that piece of the skull. And you're going to do this on every slice, and you have to be careful because obviously this is a 3D image. So whatever you do in this plane here, you'll have to make sure that you're not messing up anything in the other two windows. So always be just a smidge liberal with your outline, because when you change views, you can press your space bar and it'll change your view. You'll be able to see exactly what you're doing. So here, hopefully you can see it on the video, but there's a little divot, and that's just the two slices that I went ahead and altered. So if we continue to do this across the brain, then we're going to see here in just a second. So I'm just going to do a couple more slices. All right, and again, we want to just make sure that we're a little bit liberal here. We don't want to accidentally get any brain material. So let's just envision that I did this for the entire brain. So now what we're going to do is we're going to edit, go to edit, and then select all. And then you should see this white box around your image. That means that you have selected everything. Another way or a shortcut to do this on a Mac is Command A. And then you're going to go to Image, Image Calculator, and you're going to make sure it's set to volume, and then make sure you set outside of the ROI, and you're going to want to equal that or have that go to 0. And what this is going to do is essentially erase everything that's outside of the red outline. So when you press Calculate, you'll notice on the main window that we lost the portions of the skull that we edited. So there's our 4 slices in here. Of course, we didn't edit those other slices. Another way that we can do that, I'm going to go ahead and just delete our ROI, and I'm going to start all over, just so you can really see the effect here. So ROI, threshold to ROI, shrink wrap, exclude 0, click OK. You should see the red outline. Might take a second. And then I'm just going to go ahead and just put a big old gash through the brain. And now if I go to Image Calculator and I volume, oh, we did not go ahead. Again, you need to make sure you select all. So now we can do Image Calculator, make sure it's volume, outside ROI equals 0. And now, since we no longer have this area in the brain highlighted with our ROI, you'll see that we're going to have a big gash in the middle of our brain. So if I calculate that, there you have it. So this is just to show you kind of exactly what that tool does. And again, you'll want to make sure when you do this that you're looking in all 3 different views, because when we see it here, it looks very obvious. But in other views, like this one, you can hardly see where we made the mistake, which is right here. And then in the 3rd view, you can see a little bit more clearly, but it's really difficult to tell. So you want to make sure that you always look in all 3 views. Typically what I do is I will edit in one plane, and then I'll go through and make sure in the other 2 planes that everything looks good. So that is how you would manually edit your image, and then you would of course save it. So you would just go to File, Save As, and then rename your file. And that concludes how to edit a structural image in Mango.